Hello, everyone, again. I hope this one works out. So yeah, salam everyone. I was just waiting for more people to join us. This is an incredible opportunity for me to speak to you all. I'm also glad that a lot of people are joining us from not just Kabul, but also other parts of Afghanistan, and that's awesome to know. So yeah, Mustafa just commented that I speak on some of the general aspects of the United World College, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to take a moment before I start completely, just so more people join us, and just so more people can avail more. Yeah, so I guess this is good enough. We have more than 100 people watching us, so that's awesome. So today I'm going to be talking about a program called United World College. I used to be a former United World College student. I'm not a current UwC student, and so I hope that's clear. I also should say that I'm not a representative of the National Committee, and so I'm not representing any national committee in here. I'm also not representing UwC as an organization here. And so I'm only speaking from the experience of a former UwC student. I used to be a United World College a student at its campus in Holland, or the Netherlands, if you will. And I had an awesome experience there. But before I delve into the details of how awesome it was, or what I learned, and the types of people I interacted with, I want to first make sure that some of those remarks that I'm going to be making early on are clear. And so I'm going to repeat again that I'm not representing the National Committee here, and so the questions that you may ask are not going to hurt you in any way. They would also not be a problem. So they would certainly help you in that you would learn more about the program, and that you would be in a better position to apply for the United World College Scholarship. And so this is awesome. And I hope a lot more people join us, and so we can fully go into the details of how you could start applying, where you could find the application form, and all of that sort of stuff. And so I do understand that the fact that I'm speaking in English right now would be a bit of a problem for some of you out there. But I do have a reason for that, and the reason is that because this application process is going to be in English, and because you're going to be going through this process in a language that would definitely be foreign to you, I thought English would be a more relevant language, and so. But you could definitely comment in Farsi, so or Dari. I understand Dari. I also understand Pashto, and so that's awesome. And you don't have to worry about that. So I hope that's clear. So now I'm going to talk about some of the specifics that I promised I was going to talk about. So the United World College is a group of 17 different colleges in the world, and these are in 17 different places. I went to the one in Holland. It's called United World College Maastricht, and there's some in Europe. There's one in India. There is one in Costa Rica, and there's many, but a total of 17 in 17 different places. However, as far as the student body is concerned, there are students from just about anywhere. And during my time at United World College Maastricht, I had the fortune and privilege of interacting with people from more than 100 nationalities, and so that was awesome and transformative in many ways. And so I definitely want to emphasize on that. Although there's many out there that you could choose from, they all provide awesome experiences as far as the academics are concerned, and as far as the faculty and the kinds of experiences that you would have in classroom are concerned, but also in terms of the experience that you would have outside of classrooms and in your communities. So all of that would be awesome. And so I see that a lot of you are commenting on the issue of language here. You could definitely comment in Farsi, and I can read it. I can read whatever you would write. But the fact is that it's not an area of expertise for me, and so I wouldn't be able to communicate as clearly as I think I would in English. And so I hope that that's not leaving out people off the conversation, and I hope that that goes well with everyone out there. So the fact is that all of this process for Afghanistan is online, and so you don't have to necessarily talk to any physical person out there to get the opportunity. So it's all online. That's first up. The second thing is that it's a high school opportunity, and by that I mean students who are currently, let's say, ending their 10th year, and it's also okay for students in grades 11 and 12 to apply, but you do have to consider the age criterion in here, which is that you have to be between 16 to 19, and I'm not sure if first-year university students could take their shot, but if you are below 19 and if you are in a university right now, you could consider applying, but I'm not sure if that would be eligible. And I'm going to give you the email address and the website for this scholarship opportunity. I'm also going to give you all the details. But before I do that, because if I give away the email address and the website right now, you're not gonna listen to this conversation, which is going to be very helpful in terms of you becoming more qualified applicants, in that you would know better. So yeah, I see a lot of comments about language in here, and I want to say again that this application is going to be in English. Okay, so you're going to be writing in English if you want to get in, and if you want the National Committee or the Selection Committee to read what you would write. And so if you are going to stick to Dari or Pashto in your application, the Selection Committee wouldn't understand what you would write on the form. And so that is my reasoning for that. But I do want to say that you don't have to be excellent in English in order to get this opportunity, because if you were to get in based off of your level of proficiency in the English language, the Selection Committee wouldn't ask you to write application forms, or they wouldn't ask you to answer questions. What they would do is they would ask you for TOEFL scores or IELTS, but they're not doing that because they don't want you to be excellent in English. All you have to do is you have to be able to just simply communicate what you want to communicate in English. And so right now, I'm going to go into the details of this scholarship opportunity, and it's awesome. Everyone out there. So my primary motivation behind making this video is I want young students out there in Afghanistan, in whatever part of the country that you are in. I want you all to take your shot, fill out the application form, and get in touch with the National Committee, and demonstrate yourself, articulate your personality, and try to get in, hopefully, and that would be awesome. And so I want to talk about some of the details here, and I would request Scholarship for Afghanistan, which is the page I am right now talking from, to post these details afterward as well, just so that nothing gets kind of off track as far as this conversation is concerned. And so what I want to say is that the email address for the United World College, which I would say again is a high school scholarship opportunity. You could study at one of the 17 different campuses that they have, and you could make a great opportunity and experience out of that. And so the email address is info at af.uwc.org. This is the email that you could use to reach out to UWC. I'm going to ask Scholarship for Afghanistan to post this again, just so that this doesn't get lost. The application form for this year is available on uwc.fluidreview.com. I'm speaking this maybe a bit too fast, but the idea is that all of these details would be posted again, so you don't have to worry about potentially not noting it down or not having it with you right away. So I hope that's clear. And so if you go to the UWC Afghanistan website page, it's called af.uwc.org, and it's called UWC Afghanistan. If you go there, there is a section where you could find the application form, and that section is how to apply. So you click on that, and then there is the eligibility criteria, there is the procedure, and there are FAQs, which would be some of the questions that are generally asked on that website. And so if you click on procedure, you would be directed to another page, and that's where you can find the application form, and you could fill that out online and you could take your shot. All of these details I'm going to post again. I know that, look, I know that a lot of you are really, not happy about the fact that I'm speaking in English. I apologize about that. But you are not going to get in if you are going to write your application in Dari. Okay, so this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate yourself on the application forms, and try to maximize your opportunity of getting in. And so I'm sorry if I'm speaking in English and if some people out there are not understanding me. I know that this is leaving some people out, but that's the thing, is that this is an English opportunity. But I'm saying again that when you would access that application form, you don't have to be awesome in English. Okay, so that's not a requirement. I know a lot of students who came to United World College Maastricht, which is where I went, and they did not know any English. They had no exposure to the language, but they went on to learn, and they went on to do amazing in terms of their academics. So I hope that's clear. And so the other thing about this scholarship is that the people who are in charge of accepting you are not physically present in Afghanistan. And so I know that is going to leave out a lot of people in terms of them not understanding what's going on, or them having a lot of confusion about how to apply. Okay, so there is that problem. And so I thought that making a video like this would try to be would be helpful, in that it would give you some information and clarify some of that confusion out there. And so I want to say that when you send out your application form, which is the most important part of this process, the application form, which you would be filling out on their website, is one of the most important aspects of this process. So if you want to get in, and if you want to maximize your chance of getting this experience, you would have to put in a lot of effort and time into filling out the application form, and that's necessary. So you definitely have to do that, and you have to be patient about this process. You shouldn't lose out in terms of patience and waiting for long, because so like I said, because the National Committee, the people in charge of accepting you are not physically in Afghanistan, and they are I think they are in Canada, and so it's hard for them to immediately reach out and answer your questions and clarify your confusion. And so you have to be patient. When you send out your application form, just wait until you get a response. You don't have to rush it. Okay, so that may take 1 month or a month and a half or 2 months. So do not worry about that. Be patient. Everyone at the end of the day gets a response. Everyone who sends out an application gets a response. So I hope that's clear. After the application, as far as I was, from my experience as a UWC student, after the application form, I had to have an interview, and after the interview, I had to wait for another 1 month or two. So it takes a while. Okay, so it's not like you learn about an opportunity and you pack up and you leave. It's not like that. So you gotta be patient, and you've got to have some level of tolerance when it comes to all these things. And so I also want to say that there's the opportunity to contribute some amount of money, if you could, to your tuition. But I also want to say that there are full scholarships. And so if you think that you're a qualified applicant, and if you think that regardless of your ability to pay, you are excellent enough to get the opportunity, then you don't have to put any amount on the application form. If you think you can't afford it, don't do it. And so you could get full scholarships. I did not put in any amount there, and so and I got the opportunity, and I did not have to pay. So that's awesome, right? And a lot of other students got similar opportunities of studying at amazing schools without having to pay, and that's awesome. So if you can't pay, don't write anything on the application form as far as money is concerned, and you could still get in if you think you're qualified enough. So I hope that's clear. I'm going to come to the comment section very soon, and I'm going to read as many as I possibly can. I do have a class in an hour, so I'm right now a university student here. So I definitely want to keep that in mind, but I also want to emphasize on the importance of this talk. So I hope you don't, I hope you take this very seriously in terms of the amazing opportunity out there for you to avail, because that could be transformative for you. And so the people who are right now kind of, you know, I don't know, offended or whatever by the fact that I'm speaking in English. Well, the thing is that there's nothing in this for me. I'm trying to reach out to young people who are qualified and who are excellent folks, but who don't have the necessary information or the awareness of the availability of these programs, and so they miss out on really cool opportunities, and so that's something that I'm trying to target. And if you think that it's English that is bothering you, well then, you know, I apologize about that. So I'm going to come to the comment section, but like I said, the details as far as the email address is concerned, as far as the website for UwC Afghanistan is concerned, and as far as the application form itself is concerned, all of that will be posted right after this video. I'll ask Scholarship for Afghanistan to post these details, and that's going to be awesome, because you don't now have to worry about, you know, taking notes or I don't know, or potentially leaving out or missing out on some of the information here. So I'm going to start answering your questions right now, and yeah. So Mustafa Farzam has asked for the email. Mustafa, the email is going to be posted right after this video. I will ask Scholarship for Afghanistan to post the details again. Even though I earlier said that you have to go to the website, make an account, have an email address, and then fill out the application form and send it out. Remember again that application form that you're going to be filling out is super, super important. And so you definitely have to put in a lot of time and effort into that. But all of the details as far as the email address is concerned, as far as the website is concerned, all of that would be posted again. I will ask Scholarship for Afghanistan. So I hope that's okay for you. Someone asked me where I am right now. Well, although I don't think that's that important to answer, I'm right now a university student, and I used to be a UwC student, but I'm no more. And so, yeah. So let me read more questions here. Yeah. So Mjan Nuri asked me which country is this scholarship? Okay, which country does this scholarship belong to? Well, the scholarship is available for Afghan students, and so even if you are an Afghan refugee elsewhere around Afghanistan's neighboring, so if you are a refugee around Afghanistan and not inside, you could still consider applying, and that would be fine. So this scholarship is for Afghan students, all right? And I know that there is some sort of a myth or belief or notion of that, you know, these programs are not transparent or whatever. But what I can tell you is that this is a program that is that is very transparent from what I have observed in the last 2 years. And if you think that you're qualified enough and that you're proficient enough and that you are excellent enough, you're going to get the opportunity. So I hope that that's clear. And so it is for Afghanistan. So don't worry about that. Okay. No, Sabah asked if this is a bachelor degree. No, it's not. At a UWC, you would study a curriculum called IB, or International Baccalaureate, and that's a high school or yeah, it's a high school curriculum. And so what you would be studying would be pre-university, and so if you do particularly well during your 2 years at a UWC, and if you perform at an excellent level in the IB, you could get a bachelor's degree later on at whatever university you apply to, and so you could use the IB as your path to a bachelor's degree, which is what I'm doing right now. I am studying and trying to get a bachelor's degree, but I had to have the IB before I could get this opportunity. Jabir Haidari has asked if 15 years of old, if that's a good age. Well, I'm not quite sure. I think that is a bit young, but you could definitely send an email to the National Committee. From my observation, they are not that responsive, and that's why I'm making this video. The idea is that they don't immediately reach out to people, and it's not that we could blame them because the context of Afghanistan as far as the National Committee is concerned is very different from the context of some of the other national committees, in that some tragic things have happened to the National Committee, and so they're not immediately responsible for physically being there and answering your questions. And so the idea here is that if you want to apply as a 15-year-old, definitely apply if you want to. But if you want to ask about eligibility, you could email the National Committee. And again, Scholarship for Afghanistan is going to give all those details after this video, so don't worry about that. And Nuri again says, if I could speak in English. Well, if people can't, if some of the students are missing out because I'm speaking in English, the fact is that this scholarship is the application is going to be filled out in English. So you would have to, one way or the other, if you want to get the opportunity, you would have to, write in English. And so that's my reason for that. And I'm not going to answer any more of those questions, of questions that are regarding English. So I'm definitely answering other questions. So feel free to comment as many as I can. Great. Okay. Yeah, Muhammad Al-Nuri has asked if you need TOEFL for this. When I applied, I had a TOEFL score and I included it on my application, but you don't have to have TOEFL. I know a lot of students who came to UWC who did not have any English subject or course before. And so they were completely new to English as well, and they learned it. So you don't have to have TOEFL. If you have it, great for you. You could put your score down if you have taken it before. But for this particular opportunity, you don't have to have a TOEFL score or an IELTS or any grade like that. You don't have to have a TOEFL score, and I hope that's clear. If you have it, good, write it down. Jama has asked where we could apply from, and I said again, the website is going to be posted. All of the details will be posted right after this video, so don't worry about where you can go. So the website, the email, all of that will be posted. My rationale for making this video is I want you to know more about UWC and about what it is that you would be signing up for. So the fact is that the United World College is not just a community of schools and faculty members. It's also a broader movement, and the movement is trying to instill peace and to work toward future environmental sustainability. So it has broader ideals and values beyond just academics. And so the idea is that when you would be writing your application down, I'm not helping you write your application, but what I can tell you is that the more you know and the more you do your research on this program, the better it is. So I hope that is. And Adib Amiri has asked, the scholarship is going to end tonight. That is not true. The deadline of the scholarship is February 27th. So if you want to apply and if you're considering applying, take that deadline very seriously. And that is February the 27th. And I will, again, try to also include that in the post after this. Again, yeah, no, you don't need TOEFL or IELTS. Is it fully funded? Yes, there are full scholarships. The application for Afghanistan is very competitive because a lot of students apply for only a very limited number of spots that are available. And so I think that it is selective. It's not that easy to get in, of course, but everyone out there should consider applying. Everyone who is eligible should apply, because you don't know if or not you would get in. So you shouldn't be reluctant about applying based off of your individual judgment that you may not necessarily have, you know, the qualifications for it. So if you think you are eligible as far as that 16 to 19 years of age requirement is concerned, and if you think you are a good high school student with an interest and drive to study more and to study abroad, you should fill out this application. Mohin has asked when the application is due. It is due February the 27th, and I repeated that. It's not for, I don't know what you mean by intermediate high school students, Zohar Qadiri. So the idea here is that you should have at least finished grade 9, and you should be in grade 10, 11, or 12. As a university, first-year university student, if you are below 19, I don't know about it. You could apply, but I'm not sure about how it works as far as universities are concerned. So Habibur Rahman has asked about a master's program. That's not what I'm here talking about. I'm talking about a high school scholarship. So let's please keep it about this. So Zohar says she is in or he is in grade 10, and you're 16. Great, you could apply. Yes, definitely. And John Nuri is a refugee in Pakistan who's Afghan. Yeah, if you are an Afghan in Pakistan, you can apply. That's great. Which level of English do you need? You don't need any particular level of English. As far as English is concerned, all you would have to do is fill out your application form in English, and that's all good. So Qudratullah Qadri says this scholarship is free or not. Yeah, there are full scholarships. That is right. You don't have to pay, but you could contribute some amount of money, because there is that part on the application. There is a section on the form which you will see after this video where it asks if your family could contribute some amount of money, and if you think your family could contribute any amount of money, go ahead and do it. But if you think that you can't, that's fine too. People do get full scholarships, and that would be even more awesome. So you don't have to pay. English is important or not? Well, no, English is okay. So let me tell you this one more time. You don't have to have 100% proficiency in English. You don't have to know I don't know, Shakespearean English. All you have to do is fill out your application form in English. That's it. That's all they're asking. Write those answers in English and not Dari or Pashto, because they wouldn't understand what you would have written. So yeah, that's it. Nothing else about it. Does it have undergraduate program, Rais Sharif? You could, after experiencing UWC and getting a 2-year education in UWC, yes, you could go on to have an undergraduate degree. So I graduated in 2018 from UwC Maastricht, which is located in Holland. And right now I'm an undergraduate student. So there is that opportunity of getting a university degree afterward. But this is what's important. Do you have to have a passport for this? Well, at the time of the application, no, because that would be too early. Like I said, this is not like you fill out your application form and book your flight right away. It's not like that. So there is definitely some intermediate steps in there. So no, at the time of the application, you don't have to know English, but and you don't have to have your passport. Sorry, but if you go through later through the process, you definitely would. And if you think and if you get an acceptance offer, yeah, you would have to have a passport to travel, but not at the time of application. Not for that. Yeah, if you have finished high school and you are still below 19 or 19, go ahead. Yes, you can apply. Okay, yeah. If you are a high school graduate, you can apply. No, you don't need TOEFL. Which fact? So, okay, Khalid Shahryar has asked, probably if I'm not getting this wrong, he's asking whether or not, what kinds of maybe courses you would be doing, or what is the program like. So the IB, which is the program or which is the curriculum that you would be studying, has a number of different subjects that you can choose from. So it's a high school program for grade 11 and 12. So it's not university level degree where you would necessarily or particularly follow a professional path, or that you would get a degree, let's say in engineering or whatever. It's not like that. This is for high school. It will prepare you to get one of those degrees. So you can choose a number of different subjects, and then yeah, you could then apply and get an undergraduate degree afterward. How many students would succeed? Ghulam Hussain Muntazeri has asked. Well, the idea here is that a lot of students apply, and so this is a very selective program in that regard, but only a limited number of students get the opportunity. And so the idea here is that you should certainly apply, and I definitely encourage you to apply. Fill out that application form, go to their website, and do what you can about trying to maximize your opportunity in terms of writing better responses and writing good essays. But it's not a fixed number of students who get in every year. So it differs. Sometimes 7 students get in, other times 5 students get in. But it's definitely something around that, and it's great. You could be one of those 5, so apply. Muhammad Jan Nouri, I guess, is a university student, and I'm assuming that you would not be below 19. So if you are a university student, I don't recommend starting high school again. So yeah, you're Aqiq, you're in grade 11 and you're 17. Yes, you can apply, and the details will be posted after this video, because I can't tell you the email, and you potentially getting it wrong wouldn't be the best idea here. So all of the details would be posted. Fatima Munir has asked a very good question. Could you tell me what UwC stands for? So the United World College is not just a set of schools out there. It's a movement, and so they were founded, I think, in early 1960s, based off of an idea that if young students could come together, and if they could work together, and if they could start accepting each other's differences, they could go on and become leaders who would avoid conflict, and who would avoid the kind of atrocities that we have seen before. And so the idea or the broader mission is a lot more important than just the international baccalaureate or IB degree that you would get after your 2 years. So it's a lot bigger than that. So that's a good question you asked. And so do a lot of research. Read the website that I'm going to post afterward, and read a lot about UWC. The more you know, the more you can maximize your chance of getting in, because the selection committee would see that, okay, this applicant has done his or her homework. And so you've got to do your homework in terms of going out there, opening your computer, and checking up their website. You've got to see what it is that you are signing up for. And the more you know about it, the better a position you would be in to apply. And I definitely recommend that. Do that. Do a lot of research. And so that's important. The process is online again, Qudratullah. The details will be posted after this, and you would be able to follow that. So you go to their website, you make up an account. All of that would be clear once those websites will be posted. So don't worry about that. Do we have an exam? Well, no, it's not. So when I went through the process, I had an interview and an application to fill out and some other forms to submit, but I did not have to take an exam. So you definitely have to be great at your academics, and you have to be, a good high school student, but you don't necessarily, you should apply regardless of what grades you have or anything, because this is a more holistic approach to accepting students as far as the National Committee is concerned, in that they don't just look at grades, or they also don't just look at your transcripts. Okay, so they look at your application. They want to know who you are, how driven you are, and how ambitious you are, and how much you would be able to give back once you would be a part of your UWC or whichever campus you go on and get the opportunity and the honor of studying at. And so you have to be a little cautious about that. And so okay. Well, there are a number of subjects may rise in IB. You could study from philosophy to global politics to chemistry to biology. It's a high school program, so whatever degree at the end that you would get would only be good for you to pursue a university degree after it, which is what I'm doing right now. So after UWC, you don't get it. You don't become a professional. So it's not like you get the IB degree and you would go on and start working. So the process is a little longer than that. And so again, this is the idea of being patient about it and going through the process and accepting the process. So you don't like this. This definitely takes a while before it transpires into something bigger. Yeah, you've graduated, Ahmad Sair, from high school, and you're 17. Definitely go for it. Apply. I encourage you to apply. Jamshed's high school percentage, or your school's percentage grade or whatever is 76%. Go ahead and apply. Yes, like I said, they don't just look at grades. Okay, Mustafa has asked. He made an account and just filled the personal information part and the other process. Well, no, the application is complete. So once you make an account, Mustafa, everything is there. If there's not, look around, keep looking around. That's another thing I encourage you to do. Do a lot of research, read everything on the application form. So the idea that that the United World College National Committee has made an application and written stuff there, they did that just so the application is clearly understandable for you, the applicants. And so so definitely read everything. And so, okay, I'm working on my application, and I will take SAT as well. Yeah, if you are taking the SAT, you are 17 and you're a high school student or a graduate, and yeah, definitely, if you're taking the SAT, good for you. take it. It's not a requirement. It's not necessary. But if you think it would help you, which I think it would if you take it, yes, go ahead. But the idea here is that the folks who can't take the TOEFL, let's say some people in Kandahar are watching us, or in Kunduz are watching us, or in other parts of Afghanistan are watching us, who maybe don't have SAT centers in their cities. You don't have to go to Kabul all the way to take the SAT. These are not requirements, okay? So you don't have to take these tests to apply. You can apply based off of the fact that you should be between 16 to 19, and you have to be you have to be in high school or a graduate, and you have to apply. So it's as simple as that. Can you dedicate some time talking about essays and statement of purpose? My brother would find it very helpful. Thank you. Jamal, yeah, so I'm not going to help you write your answers because that should be your own individual work. I also discourage students out there who would ask for help based on just because they don't think that they are that proficient in the English language. I don't encourage getting English help at all. You should do your own work. But as far as essays and statement of purpose are concerned, they're important, yes. So talk about who you are, talk about your story, and why you would be interested in a UWC education, or what motivates you to apply, or how you would be able to contribute, and how engaged you are in your community right now. What kinds of extracurriculars are you doing? And all of those things are important. So I'm going to only talk for 5 more or 6 more minutes in here because I've got a class that I have to attend. Yes, Shahir, you're in grade 11 and you can apply. And well, yeah, look around, Mustafa. You will definitely find more to fill out. It's definitely not just personal information that you have to fill out. There's a lot more to it, so definitely do all of that. It's not just personal information and submitting your application. It's definitely there. You should look around. I don't have the application open for me right now, so I don't necessarily know what part of the application you are at currently working on, and so that should definitely be there. And if it's not, log out, start it all over again. It's definitely there. So I hope all of that is clear. I'm definitely posting all the details after this, and I'll ask Scholarship for Afghanistan to post all of the details in terms of the website, the email address, and all of that should be clear. So I hope people extracted as much information as they possibly could, and I hope I was clear. I'm sorry again I'm sorry because of the fact that I spoke in English all this time, but I hope you found this helpful. So yeah, I encourage you to apply. Go out there, fill out the application form, and you could text me on my Facebook account if you have questions. So I hope that's good. All right, bye.